So what did I miss? What was the talk about?
Nothing. We were talking about you.
Okay. So, oh no.
No.
No, so this week we'll have a demo from Piotr, and he won't say maybe next week because he announced it even publicly. So he'll show us what he did on the workflow module. Interesting that Piotr is not trying to hack the core and working on some real module. So that must be some awesome thing. Or maybe it's a colleague of him who did the work and just presenting it. Sipke, you have something today, or?
Yeah, I've been working on the tree view, list view for the list module. Fix a couple of things we discussed last week. If people are interested, I would be happy to show that, but as discussed, we'll not incorporate the tree view as part of the list module. Instead, I will be contributing that as a third-party module, or maybe as part of the tree module from Bertrand. And the next things for me to do on this list module is working on things such as, RSS feeds, integration with XML, RPC, and a couple of other things. So what I can show is the tree view, but not much else.
No, don't do that. I prefer everything but that.
I know.
So, Sipke, Piotr, demos, then do we have a demo from Lombic? No?
I don't. I think no.
No?
Maybe next
Did
week.
you ask your wife?
I have no wife, and I know what you are trying to refer to, but still, I'm not playing this game.
Sipke, Piotr, who else? Nick? Nick is here? No, he's not here. Nick, where? Okay, Nick is not present. Do I have any demo? I will look into. Oh yes, okay. I have some demos. I always forgot to show you actually. The Owin stuff, and also forgot something. I also forgot to mention last week, and I won't forget it today, to mention that yes, you remember the JavaScript anti-spam part that Zoltan or I don't know Lombic created was integrated into the core. Okay, push it, and I never mentioned it, I think. So now it's in the core, so it's a part, and you can use it where you want. It's not assigned to comments by default, but it's very easy to plug. This also status. What else?
Elections.
Elections. New websites. Lots of new websites this week. Interesting ones.
I have another thing I want to talk about, which is built-in modules in the gallery.
Built-in modules in the gallery.
The modules that used to be on the gallery, used to be optional, but that are now in the release.
Yeah.
We get people all the time installing the gallery version on top of 1.7 and breaking their system. I think we should remove them from the gallery.
Okay, and maybe place them somewhere else, and so yeah.
Hey, Bertrand, are you talking about the people or the modules?
Okay, modules. What else? I should close my Outlook.
I just mentioned in passing that I'm done with the SSR module. It's not demo worthy, but
okay.
I'll send you the changes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's start. Status elections.
Okay. So the candidacy declaration is officially closed. So if you haven't presented anything, it's too late. We have 10 candidates, which is more than we've ever had. So that's great. Thanks to everyone who stepped in. I can give the list of candidates in the order in which they declared their candidacy. So there is me, Sipke, Ilan, Travis James, Sébastien, Samuel Goldenbaum, Nicolas Main, Lombic, and we need to talk about that one, and vote about that one, Piotr, and Antoine. So great set of candidates. Thanks everyone. So we need to talk about the Lombic candidacy because this one took us a little bit by surprise by being a candidacy for a company rather than for individuals. And well, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Actually, I can see some pros and cons, and I think it should be subject to a vote because it's not something that we've anticipated before.
That's fair.
So
And if the vote is if the result of the vote is not to allow this, we should allow one of you to, or both of you actually, to be
compete. Yes, let's enumerate the pros and cons. I have some pros and I have some cons.
Go ahead.
Pros, I don't care. Cons, it's the first time, so it's risky. I mean, risky in the way that, hey, I didn't know we could do that. I would have done it this way. For instance, let's talk about Samuel, who has the Hello company. What's the name of the Hello
Computer
company? Hello Computer, yeah. Maybe he would like, okay, let's represent Hello Computer because they made lots of websites and not just him personally. I don't know. Or someone else will come and say, hey, also, so. It was not in the rules actually. The rules was the rule was you have a Codeplex account and you have participated.
That's for voting. I don't think we said the same thing for,
yes, right.
for candidates.
So, yep. So yeah, so that's the risk. What else? I see another issue which could happen is when we need to vote, and who will be the voice of Lombic? Who will vote for Lombic? If we have to open a vote, does Lombic vote among themselves, and then they publicize their result and we have to wait for them to vote?
Basically, yes.
So you see, like today, what we do? Okay, let's open a vote. The committee is there. Let's vote, and we don't have to wait the next week to decide what is your vote. You just tell us right now. That's
of course, that's how it would happen.
Yes. Yeah, so in the end, this will be, let's say, by example, Zoltan or Benedek taking the vote, and if then they decide, no, we didn't agree on this thing, and yeah, your vote is already there, so we can change it. You had to agree before the vote and not now. So that's an issue I see. Maybe that won't be an issue because we know you. We know that, okay, you will agree and there will be a vote, or we can say it's a blank vote and done.
I've seen actually the reverse situation when I was in the Open Ajax organization. They had actually only companies being members, and at some point they allowed for individuals to become members. So it was a much bigger organization, and votes were not happening face to face. They were mostly happening on email, so it wasn't so much of a problem. But yeah, I could see how that could make the process less fluid. So in light of what Sébastien has said, I would actually think that it would be better to have one of you be a candidate instead. And be the it's fine if you're the voice of Lombic. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't think this would be a technical issue. I mean, if you want to divide for a voting, and not the strategy we as a Lombic participate in, but for a particular voting, we want to share our voices inside the company, we won't do that for a week. So you won't notice it.
I'm looking right now at how Drupal does it, if they have organization or not, because there's a big organization there at Drupal, which is Acquia, and I'm wondering if they stand as a company or as individuals. And I think I just see individuals here. I see Matthew Saunders, Morten K, Matthew Tift, Jared Smith, Peja, Eugenio. There is no actually any organization behind. And because they have also opened the candidate statements right now this week, so it's really, I can share the link actually if you look at the.
Is this the Drupal guys?
Yes, they have opened the votes yesterday or last week, and if you look at the participating candidates today on the page I just shared, it's just individuals. There is no company, so I don't know what's their idea behind that. Because there are big companies behind Drupal, which would like, I'm sure, to be represented in the board, but still, it's just individuals here. So I'm sure we could make it work. It's a risk. There must be some people complaining about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just add something more, and then we'll vote. I think it's important that we start recognizing the contributions of companies such as Lombic in the development of our chart, because they are going to be very important in the next couple of years, I think. I mean, Lombic and other similar companies, but I think this is different, and maybe if that had been suggested earlier, it would have been different, but I think doing that today, the day when the candidacies are being closed, I think this is too late. My personal opinion is that I would prefer, for this year at least, that it's only individuals. That's my opinion, personal opinion. That's it. So let's vote. Unless somebody else has something to say.
Who is in the committee today? Ilan is not there today. He's in the committee, right? He took Nick's position, so Nick has nothing to say. Sipke, you're in the committee, and Piotr too. Okay? And Zoltan. Zoltan, you are?
I'm not in the committee.
Who is the committee? Me, Bertrand, Sipke, Piotr, and Ilan, the five, that's it?
Yeah, Ilan is not present today.
Okay, Okay, Sipke, do you vote for or against?
Against companies, pro individuals. I think it's important that there's a person in the seat and not a company. I'm fine with persons representing a company, but I don't know, that's just my feeling about
next year. Piotr?
Sebastian?
No, Piotr?
Yeah, the same as Sipke. I
Okay.
think it should be people.
So I wanted to vote neither for or against, so that's good. You don't care about my vote, and
I thought you were going to say if everyone is against, I'll vote for or something.
No. I'm honest. I won't vote for just because they are against. I would be willing to take the risk, but no, it's okay.
Just so you're aware that it was my idea for Lombic to go as a company.
Don't say that.
I think I think in this case you should allow, if they want to choose now for one of them individually to submit their candidacy, I would say it's not too late for that.
No, it's okay. Because we know that it's either Benedek or Zoltan behind, and Benedek won't try to steal some votes to Zoltan and make him fail the election. So let's assume it will be Zoltan.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
So,
Basically.
okay, so do you guys already know if you are both going to be candidates or one of you? Or do you need a couple of hours more?
Can we decide that till the end of the meeting?
Sure. No problem. Take your time. If you need
Take
a
your
couple
time.
of hours. No. I mean,
Thank you.
If they need to
Okay.
discuss it after this meeting, it's fine.
Let's start the fight. Public fight. Go. You share the room, no? So just go.
Debate for votes.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay. A free union. Okay. Then elections. Okay, we are still waiting for one candidate. Okay. But the list is already done. About 9 candidates or 10 candidates. 10 candidates. Nice. Interesting. 10 candidates.
Or 11.
That's a lot. You do know that being in the committee means nothing because we take 1 vote per year, which is about defining the new candidates. And okay. So election status of work. So I will share my sharing the screen. Clicking on the button. Desktop. Ooh, oh, by the way, so tell me when you see something. Just as I mentioned, I'm waiting for Benedek to see everything. I have added the link to the orchard room in Jabber because someone asked for it, and yes, the room is existing, so I linked to it so anyone could try to meet and yes, it's there. There are some people.
I can see on screen now.
Yeah, yes. There's a lot of French people. Styx is French. Vantajou, I think, speaks French. There are some Belgian guys, so technically half of them is speaking French. Statistically, not technically. Statistically, I think Frank speaks French. So that's a French room, but we talk English in there, and Jamaican people. You see? What is Jamaica doing in the orchard room? You see, so let's shut them out. Oh, bye. Well, it's still there, but so status of work. Looking at the history here, this one. Many things happened even this morning. So what happened here? We demonstrated last week the new feature from Sipke about having the keyboard shortcut, well, keyboard management into the content definition. Then I fixed this thing, which was that the thumbnails were stripping all the international characters, and thus if your media were just based on international characters, they were all using the same thumbnail, which was an issue. It's been fixed. Autocomplete has been, script was not registered correctly for the autocomplete to work. Excluding specs folders from the click to build script. Preventing the bins from being published, so little fixes, updating the version numbers to 171. I fixed the O embed bug that we saw last week during the demonstration. So it was that actually, yes, the encoding of the request was not set correctly, and then the parsing was bad. The unit tests were failing because of some unit tests were failing because of the output cache, which was reassigning or checking if the e-tag header was defined in the response, and this can only be done in integrated pipeline. So I'm checking for the integrated pipeline before doing that, and the tests are not run in integrated pipeline because it's specific to IIS, so that was breaking. Refactoring and fixing spec flow files. So last year, the spec flow test just broke, and it was not actually running. Something was broken, and I spent hours, days on trying to fix this thing. And every 2 months I was saying, okay, let's fix this, and I could not make it work. And all of a sudden, when after some changes, I don't know what, they all started to work again. So good. Then I fixed the remaining failing unit test, and now they all went green. It was very weird to see everything green, but it happened. They are still not really reliable on the TeamCity server because I think there are some timeouts sometimes with the SQL thing. But you see the nightly builds, for instance, is just running the SpecFlow test every night because they take very long time, like 3 hours. Okay, so I don't want to run them every time we do a check-in. The continuous build is testing all the unit tests every time there is a check-in. Okay, on the one.x branch. The nightly build is doing also on the one.x branch. The full build happens whenever we merge to the master branch, and it's running the unit tests and the functional tests. And you see that this went completely green yesterday, well, on Friday, when I merged to master with the 171 and where I took the artifacts from. Also, I pushed something in master this morning, and one test is failing. I can show you, I don't know which one, but it must be a timeout or a very weird file system exception, which means that it's an issue on the you see object moved. Usually it's like the application has been restarted, maybe because of memory pressure, and then it says, oh, there is an object move now. So it doesn't mean that the test is wrong, but the server failed into running this test. So that's an issue sometimes, but usually it works. So it's pretty good. So it had been 1 year since the last functional tests were passed. It was broken. I don't know why. I don't care, it works. So then I fixed lots of tests. I also fixed the parsing of the web activity task for multi-lines. It was not done correctly. Sipke. Fixing. Well, I did so many bugs, I don't care. So you can do some bugs sometimes. Functional test, warm-up module version, we don't care. Oh, nice thing too. So this is new in 4.5 based on Daniel Stolt changes. We are using, now the web config transformation. So you can use the web.release file if you want to upgrade your web config when you deploy, and it will be used now whenever you deploy from Visual Studio, because it will build it using the transformations here, but also using the build script. So if you run the build script, it will also use this transformation, which was not as obvious as it could be. I had to use a NuGet package from Sayed Hashimi, the Slow Cheetah NuGet package, which provides the transformation logic inside the NuGet package and then for the build scripts. And also, just as a reminder, the log4net config and the host components config also use their own .release file and .debug file. So you can not change this file, but just change your own release config file. And this morning I fixed something that, what's his name already? RodPL. Daniel Laborski mentioned. It's a bug I made in 1.7 and I still made in 1.7.1, which is you don't have to set the disable monitoring true on everything. Don't set it on extension harvester, otherwise it won't detect the new modules. You might want to do it, but for the standard setup, we don't do that because we want people to be able to download dynamically modules and themes from the gallery. And if you don't do that, if you do true also for extension harvester, it won't detect the new extensions. So I fixed that, and because I pushed the release just yesterday, I just updated in place the two packages on the Codeplex website and pushed the change on the master 1.7x and also 1.x branch. So that's a fix I did this morning, and this is why this full build is happening again, because I pushed something on master. Then blah blah blah. Sipke played a little bit with the source code by making things more.
It's more consistent now. It's
Yes.
better. So now you just use this. Actually, is deprecated again. Text dash medium. You shouldn't use that. You should use text space medium, text space small, text space large, or just text for text fields.
Yeah. So the issue was that in the admin theme we were using text dash small, large, I don't know, whatever, or the text, but the medium one had a specific syntax which was just text uppercase M. What? So it just fixed that. It made it everything the same. But this is still here, so it still works. Okay, it's just deprecated. And then it changed it just before I pushed the package, which means his two latest changes about applying it to the whole source code are in 1.x and are not in 1.7.1. Okay.
Okay.
It's just not a big matter, but just to mention. And maybe it will be useless or very useful if we decide to change how the admin theme looks like, because it will maybe be part of a much bigger overhaul of the admin. Maybe I could talk about it. I have some ideas and they need to be said before I forget about them. Enabling, so this is the change I did this morning, and yes, and then I merged back the change I made on master to 1.7x and 1.x. So I also created this 1.7x branch for the people who want to work on the dev branches. 1x should be targeting the 1.8 version, and 1.7x should be targeting the next small version. So if there is something which is not a new feature and can be done as part of the next small version, you should use the 1.7x thing, okay? So for instance, Sipke, your changes might have been into 1.7x. So you might want to merge, so I merged the changes of 1.7x to 1x, which is just the enabling extension harvester. Okay. You might want to merge 1x to 1.7x right now, before someone creates a big feature in 1x, and then you won't be able to merge them.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah.
But if you want to do new things, you can do it on 1.7x. And well, if you're not sure, ask. If it's a new feature, might be on 1x. It will be on a case by case. Bug fixes, definitely 1.7x, because it's for the next small release. And right. Maybe we just release 1.8 before 1.7.2. It's just that we will merge the two of them. That's okay. Okay. But now we have, again, two different branches. And based on what I see from the build system, last time we had this thing was for 1.4x. So we used to have 1.4x and 1.x, and at some point we must have lost something and started working on just 1.x and forgot about that we could use different branches actually for small releases and big releases.
Would it be an idea to completely use Git flow?
No.
They're
no, too complex, and this is no. Even if we have two branches now, no, it's okay like that.
You're saying Git flow is too complex because it seems to simplify things.
Yes, it could, but it also have you create feature branches for everything, and sometimes we don't care. We just push on 1.7x and. I
see. Yeah,
it's okay. It's a small Git flow. I understand now we have the two branches, but we just have two of them, and they're pretty well defined.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Use it in one stop. I don't care. It makes sense. It's pretty simple. But maybe the documentation should be updated to reflect those recommendations.
Yes.
So that's it about the changes. Not big stuff, but 1.7.1 was released. It's there, and fortunately I haven't submitted it for web gallery because I did a change this morning, and this was the only important change, but bug that Mr. And I think I should create now 172 if it's not already done. I think it's already done. 17x. I have a 17x here. Yeah, nice name. Okay. Comments, questions. Good. Next, election status. New websites. Okay. One sec. I have to stop presenting. Then I copy paste my notes. Then I present again. Then this is the list of the new websites I found this week, and I will share it on the chat room, and I can open them just to show. I missed this one. Yes. Okay. Everything is open. And now, so this one, very nice. I think it was submitted to the mailing list, to my to the Orchard email. Just a consulting company, I think, and pretty nice. Good content. Don't have a blog. I don't see the blog. Nice. Where is it from? The office. Romania. Okay. Then not iTelios, it's Itelios. It's a French company that I knew some of the guys because I met them at TechEd Paris in 2009, I think. Very innovative company. They were showing very interesting things like 3D stuff. Very interesting, and they are very good in e-commerce also. They are experts in what's the name of the Microsoft tool for the commerce solution? I don't know. I don't remember. Their full website is in Orchard. Interesting, and they are Sitecore partners, but their website is in Orchard. See. It's nice, lots of content, and it's beautiful, and it's Orchard everywhere. Itelios. Yeah, but Antoine must know them also. You know them, Antoine. Antoine is typing. They are my neighbors. What do you mean by that? Oh, they are also in Lille. Yeah, they're in Paris and in Lille. That's it. Yes. Okay. So do you know them? Did you make the website? Did you know they had this website? Yes, filial. What do you mean? You are a subsidiary of Itelios, or they are? Oh, they have a subsidiary in Lille. Okay. And did you know that they made the website in Orchard? Did they ask you? Do they know that you know Orchard? A little? He doesn't want to talk.
I know them too.
Yeah. Okay. So next one, FutureDerm. So I found a bunch of healthcare website last week. Interesting. So this one, I think it's some kind of e-commerce or advertisement for some, skincare cosmetics products. Okay. Nice one. CarInsuranceQuotes.com, which is different from InsuranceQuotes.com, which is also an Orchard. Interesting. I think it's in the top 200,000, something like that website, which is huge. Diabetes Care Club. You see, healthcare again. Ogilvy from Australia. Very nice website, very well designed. It was fast last time I checked. Orchard. Campbell's Kitchen. I have my idea about who made the website because it looks like a lot like other websites we've seen for restaurants, and this one too. Okay, this one I'm pretty sure who made that because it's exactly the same templates from a London company. Actually, I don't know the name of the company. I know the people inside. This one from Poland. So it must be some friends of Piotr.
Know them.
Yeah, such a shame. You know, when a French website is done, I know the people. You see the difference? And this one from Hungary. So this is Hungary. No, this is Croatia. Every time I made a mistake. Hungary is HU. HR is Croatia. This is so logical that HR is Croatia. Okay, they could not name it CR. Okay, like this. No, it has to be HR.
Because it's Horvatska.
Blah blah blah. And
but if we were like 100 years ago, you wouldn't be mistaken.
And a nice website too for a product. Okay, but good set of new websites this week. There must be more, but yeah. Reminds me of Experts Exchange. I don't know which one. Penisland.com. Okay, penisland.com. That's how you pronounce it. Okay. Next on the list, new website. We have demos. Oh, let's not forget about demos. Sorry, guys. Jump, Piotr. Go.
Okay, I can go. Alright, so where is this button?
10 minutes, okay?
Oh, I don't know.
I tell you.
I have really a lot of things to share.
So just speed it up. I don't know, or talk less, show more.
Okay.
That's what you said.
I'm well prepared. So I made a lot of improvements to the workflow module.
Well, okay.
Workflow.
Not too much. Okay, not too much. Okay.
Oh, not much.
You made colors. Okay.
Yeah. First thing that you can see is that I made colors. So I actually made a. So each endpoint has a CSS class. Each endpoint and each transition has a CSS class that corresponds to the name of the outcome. So you can put your own styling. Even you can style you can have a dashed line.
So you mean when you create an activity, you can define how the connectors will look like for this activity?
Yeah, if you just include your own style sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay.
So this is the first thing.
I like.
The second thing is that I added an error handling logic.
Oh, like in a Workflow Foundation, like something bad happened. What do you want to do when something bad happens?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the default done, which is almost returned by almost every activity by default by convention.
Okay.
It's green and error is red. So in code, it looks like that I extended the task and event classes. So if there is an error in the execute, it's being caught. The error is being put into the workflow state data, and the error outcome is automatically is returned. So
this is something in the base class. This is not something we have to handle in every activity?
Yeah, exactly. It's handled by the base class.
Okay.
So when error happens, I'll show you, for example, the notify. You have a token with error message and error details, which for exception is a stack trace. So I put the message and the stack trace to the as a token. So you can, for example, what I'm doing here is that when error, this is a test activity I created that just throws an exception. And so when the exception is thrown, I log it and I display a notification. So the log is a new activity that I have also added. It works similar to notify, but it just puts something into the log. So you can choose the log level, debug information, and so on, and the message log. So for example, when in this workflow, when I go to content, it's a content published event. So edit the test page. I have the logs open. I'll clear the logs. When I hit publish, there is a notification being displayed, and also because we use the branch activity, we have an error being logged. Error. This is the error. This is the log entry created by the activity. This is the one that's created by default, because when error happens, we log it by default here. So you actually don't have to log it, but I'm just showing it for demo purposes. What next?
So it's interesting, but we need to talk about that because there are some discussion in the chat room, and also I want to think about what should be done automatically, what should be configurable, and I want to see also the implication with a module we talked about a few weeks ago, which would be an audit trail module, which could be linked this way, like a generic audit trail module, which could be used by any other module to enrich the audit trail. And maybe exceptions could be also, So, but it's good. But I want to see all the implications.
I just wanted to answer that I didn't lose the exception stack. Okay. So because the log entry just logs this message, but you have a token. Let's say stack trace. That's called details, and by default I put a stack trace in there. So if I save it and I publish it now,
it might be better just to map the properties from the error to the token 141. Just do .stack trace rather than create different property names.
Yeah, I used the stack trace name initially, but I changed it to details because the error that is returned is not necessarily an exception. So you can, for example, return an error outcome from your activity. For example, when there is a logical error in your activity, but not necessarily an exception, and you want to return it as an error and put some detailed data in there.
Yeah, totally. One thing you might want to bear in mind is that the type of exception that's returned. So if you're calling a web service and it returns a certain type of exception, like I don't know, but it might have an ID, like a status ID on it. You might want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I will add it. Right now there is just message and details, but I just didn't want to put a lot of new tokens just at the beginning. So this is about the error handling code. It's not a rocket science, but it's nice. I made a few improvements, a small refactoring to the workflows. So, for example, when you have and I will tell you why I did it. When the workflow manager executes a workflow, the execute method returns a list of outcomes, but it's good at sometimes to be able to, for example, alter this list of outcomes on activity executed, Right now, it was just a variable here in the execute workflow, but I just pushed it into the activity context. So when you put some code in on activity executed method on your activity, you can have access to the outcomes that were actually rendered. So, for example, you may want to remove them, add some more or something. And I included this one because I implemented something better than this. All of this, I implemented a loop.
Who is this HQI who is just saying nice thing about you? You are not allowed to say nice things about Piotr without my authorization? Because he will take confidence and do whatever he wants?
No. No, that won't happen. Okay, so this is the first workflow. This is just showing the error handling. But the cooler one is the loop. So I implemented the repeat. Okay, it's much bigger. So I implemented the
first question. So did you have to change anything in the workflow manager to implement a loop, or just a nice activity?
I needed to implement. I needed to have an access to the outcomes of the last step.
So that's why you That's why you made the refactoring. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my initial idea was to have one activity for all the repeat kinds, like for the number of repetitions for each or while. But it may change. But right now there is one. So if you edit this repeat, you have a 3 different kinds of repetition. So a fixed number of repetitions is just it's corresponding to the 4. So
and you can have a token.
Yes, you can have a token here. While it's not implemented yet because I haven't plugged in the scripting.
Do 3 different things because they will have different. Yeah.
But right now, just to show you, it's just one activity. So the fixed number and for each works. So for each is just an expression. Right now, it's just a text with it's just tokenized text that should return a comma separated list of values, and the loop will continue for each of those entries. So let's say I have I will remove the tokens. It works, but it will be more clear. Just type in some text. 1, 2, 3, Bazinga. Okay. So this loop will. So the loop has 2 endpoints. One is the begin step. So you just point it into the activity, into the task that starts the loop, and one which I style with the dotted line it's not actually it's not used. It's just a marker to say that this activity ends this whole loop. So when how it works is that when the loop starts and it gets to the end step, it moves the instead of invoking the next activity, it just returns the flow to the repeat once again, and then the next begin step starts. So but when the loop loop ends, why?
It doesn't look right. I have a hard time understanding it. Which
really?
can tell you 2 things, but
it actually
the 2 things are right actually.
Okay, so
maybe.
So actually it works like this. You have this starts and this ends the loop. So this piece of workflow is being repeated a given number of times, and when
hold on. how about this? So the end of your step, the one where you have the loop thing, so the one before that,
Yes.
this one. How about the output of this is the repeat, and then you have you have that dotted line.
Okay,
But there is no connection between those two here. The loop connection, it's the one that doesn't look right. I think this one should point to the repeat. That would be clearer, I think.
Or you don't point back to repeat, it's just a path, and that's it, done. And when the path is done,
yes,
it's just...
maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is a couple of when I started actually implementing that, I saw a couple of different ways of doing that. I thought about, for example, having two activity, an activity that would mean end the loop, and you choose a loop which is going to end. And I think
it looks like you're surfacing implementation details here.
Because you think loops, so you want to see a loop. No, don't care.
Yeah. So it's a subject to change. I just wanted to have a prototype of having a loop in a workflow.
Yeah, but it's really cool. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool to have that. Well done.
And of course, those values, as well as the repetition index, is available through tokens. So let's say that
in the work context, in the workflow context. Don't tell me you created a new token.
The workflow context. In the workflow, yeah, exactly. So I just turned on this workflow, and I will turn off the previous one, so it won't fire. And let's go to content, this test page, and when I hit publish now, you will see all those. So there are three.
So we can do rainbows now in Orchon? Awesome.
Notification is a nice way to show that something, to display stuff. So I just used that one. So what it? Okay, we'll try to show it side by side. I won't be able to. So for each step there is a notification. Then there is a branch which throws an error. I can actually remove that. These are those error notifications being displayed. I just wanted to have a more complex demo. Where is that button? Save. And when I publish now, it's much better now. So you have a token with value 1. Then there is, in the next repetition, there is a token of the token is called workflow.loop.value. I added a token. Where is it? Repeat tokens. That's called a loop, which has an index and value properties.
No, you should not do that.
Why?
What if you have two loops imbricated?
And
there is a better solution. So remove this thing, use the workflow.context token, and if you enter, enable it. But there is a workflow context, for each loop. So what you should do instead is in your loop, you should be able to define the name of the variable where you want to put the value of the index, and then it will inject this name as a token inside the main workflow token. So you can say workflow dot the name of the variable.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing about having multiple loops is a border case which I haven't, which I thought about, but I haven't managed to figure out yet. Yeah. Because you can have nested loops, you can have separated loops, you can have loops that.
And just an example.
Yep.
This is just an example. Maybe there are some other issues, but I just tell you, you reuse the work context itself, and you just define in the loop what is the name of the variable you want to assign. That's it, and then you don't have to create another token, and it's much simpler, I think.
Yeah, but okay, but there are two properties index. Okay, but they can
do two variables, and they're optional. Yeah. If you don't want to reuse the index, don't set it, or the value, don't set it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right now it's just workflow looping. Okay. It's just a prototype. So I'll be trying to. The code got pretty complicated, so I think I will split this thing into three different activities. So the for each and while.
It's nice icons and so.
Yeah. And the end step will be a separate activity as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be much cleaner, so that you will have to. But on the end step, you will have to pick which loop does it correspond to, and it will work. It will be much cleaner this way. So yeah. So
That's
this
nice.
is basically
Good, very good. So you want to create a feature branch for that?
Yeah, I think it would be the best to create a feature workflow.
Question is where 1.x, 1.7.x. I'd rather put it on where?
1x.
I don't know, because if it's ready for 1.7x, we could. So yeah, let's put it on 1x, and if it's a branch based on 1x, and if we need, we'll rebase the branch on 1.7x.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If there won't be any parallel changes to the same code, so but we'll merge anyway.
We'll merge. So yes, just create a feature branch. Call it workflow slash. Call it workflow. Call it the workflow branch based on 1.x.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or feature slash workflow.
If you want.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there are just a few more minor tweaks to the JavaScript code that renders the activities. So right now this is the last thing I added. So right now from this, when you render an activity shape, you can add messages here, divs with class message, and those divs when the activity is being rendered here, those messages will be automatically put into the messages zone. So let's say I will just quickly add div class equals message error, some error. Let's save it, and now if I refresh the page, you notice it's being displayed in this.
I don't have it right now. I'm still stuck on the Visual Studio. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I added a div, and
So
this
okay.
div.
The jQuery selector.
Yeah, exactly. I made a few tweaks to the jQuery selector when you fetch the HTML from the server. There is a DOM. The HTML parsing happens. So I just added a few tweaks there. So I just moved certain divs to the messages zone.
It's a hack. Okay.
But because it's sometimes it is necessary. For example, when you have an activity that needs to have some special settings, and you need to display a warning that the same way that you display a warning about with the workflow needs.
Isn't
to be
there
set.
validation already on the forms themselves?
Yeah, but the form. But for example, when you have the activity that needs to depend on some other kind of activity.
That's a way to. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, this one should be documented. So the only thing positive I take from this demonstration is that no one can say you need documentation for the workflow, because there is no documentation, and you managed to do that, which means we don't need documentation.
Code documentation is, the code is well.
Yeah, the code was well
documents
documented, and it was self-explanatory, which means good code. Okay.
But I will add a few. I will add a few comments to the methods. Anyway, so.
Surprised you get it at this level with just the documentation we had. Interesting. Stop looking to the code.
Okay, so that's basically.
Awesome.
So I'm done.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And note review? Take that, Sipke. Okay.
I love the colors. That's really cool.
Yeah. That's the woman in you who's talking. What else?
I actually had two little things. That
Yes, you had some demos to show. Yeah, so
no demos. Just topics. Two little topics. It's one is a work item, and I had a question about publish unpublished link appearing on each content item, even if the content type is not draftable. I was wondering, maybe we should change that?
Well, yeah, how you mean it's just like show hide because it's not draft, it's just, okay, this is the same verb, but this is not the same action. Because publish on a non-draftable will just, okay, nothing to do. And unpublish will remove it completely.
Yeah.
And when it's draftable, unpublish will show the previous version.
Yeah.
And publish will publish the current draft.
Exactly. So we should then change the verb. The wording of those links?
You should already find a girlfriend. You have more important.
No time for that.
You have more important things to do than just think about the verb of the unpublish, publish in the draftable context.
Well, maybe, but you know, it's just a thorn in my eye.
Santa Monica, everywhere, guy. Yeah?
That's true. That's true.
You
know, there needs to be a little bit of balance in my life. So
yes.
I
That's what I say.
So I noticed these links, and it was a little bit of a thorn in my eye, actually.
Yeah, but
if you're okay with it, I'm gonna fix it.
I'm afraid that the change will, maybe maybe as a major version, and we need to talk about which verb, and that makes sense. Yeah. What would you suggest?
Or hide it, so only show publish, unpublish if it's draftable, and if that's not checked, you don't see anything, you just remove it. There's just remove button, which is already there. At least to me, that's the most intuitive presentation.
What content type is this for, Sipka?
Well, any content type. For example, the page. If your page is draftable, then it makes sense that you see the publish unpublish hyperlink in summary display, summary admin display type. But if it's not draftable, then having a publish unpublished link doesn't make much sense.
But unpublish and delete are completely different because you just want to hide something, you don't want to delete it.
Yeah.
Unpublished is nothing really to do with draftable. It just so happens that it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, it's because it's just like saving, right?
Actually, it's good. I think it's okay. Makes sense. Even if it's not draftable, you say unpublish, and it will be unpublished. Or publish, and then it will be published.
So even if it's not draftable, you still want those buttons because you want the ability to hide it.
Mm-hmm. To unpublish it.
To unpublish it.
Actually, no, because if you can't do a draftable item, then unpublished turns it to a draft. So then you can draft it.
Yes, no, it's not really a draft. It's kind of a draft.
It could be a delete then.
No, let's say you have a page online. Okay, it's not draftable. There's a page online, and you want to remove this page to be displayed. So you say unpublish. You don't want to delete the content. Just I will unpublish it right now because I don't want my people to see that. And then 1 hour after you say, publish it back. So show it again. You see?
So why do we have the draftable option?
Because sometimes you want draftable content items. You want drafts, and sometimes you don't care about drafts.
Yeah, you want to save the draft and not publish that instantly. That makes sense. Okay.
So now we have raised the issue. We'll play with our chart this week and see how we feel about that, and just ask for some feedback next week. Okay, if it makes more sense.
Okay.
Now when I will see the unpublished publish, I will think about it.
Awesome. And then there was another thing.
Okay.
It's the email message event handler. I'll copy a. Hang on.
Email message event handler. This beautiful thing.
I do like it. It's just that if you click on the link, I just paste it in.
Now we need to change this whole thing.
Yeah, you mentioned it before.
Yeah, I made it exactly 2 years ago. Yeah, I remember the discussion. Bertrand doesn't remember it. Renaud was on vacation, so I had to define it with you and Louis. I mean Bertrand and Louis. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have ideas, I'm open to discuss that, because I have a couple of improvements or changes in mind.
Abstracting email messages is a bad idea.
Yeah, I think it's been limiting in some way, and in this case, the issue I'm calling out here is that the email message event handler, it's not setting the message prepared flag. So if I have my own message event handler, which takes care of adding recipients to the to collection of the mail message, that's being done twice because of this email message event handler, because it's not respecting the fact that the message prepared flag is set to true by my own message event handler.
So if it's a bug and it's not breaking, fix it.
It's not breaking.
So fix it. If it's not breaking anything, and you think it's fixing something, make it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know what the reasoning behind it was. Maybe
I don't even want to think about the reasoning right now, because there is a reasoning, but I would rather spend the time on thinking about a new module which makes more sense.
Okay.
In terms of messaging and everything. Right. My fork is still open actually on Mercurial. It's still there. The fork I had done like 2 years ago about this. So with the messages stack that the background will send and everything. So.
Oh, so you already started work on.
But so the story is that I had done some, in my opinion, nice modules about messaging thing. There was a stack of messages and a processor of messages, and for instance, the email processor will send the emails asynchronously. So you could create 1,000 emails, and Orchard will send them on the flow. And then we did cut this feature, and we implemented this thing instead.
Oh, that's cool. Can we talk about this later?
The fork is there. It's called, I think, message and notification something. It's there.
Wasn't that the stuff that Suican put a bunch of issues around or something like that? Is that the MSMQ stuff?
No, nothing to do with MSMQ. It's kind of doing the same thing, but it's just a message queue, intent to Orchard to send messages.
So Sebastian, did you also handle to refactor the notifications? So, for example, not to use a session, because it will be a good thing to do as well.
I don't remember this, but if you have some ideas, just send them. I would like to know your ideas about that. What can be done? It would be interesting to know. If there is a solution, I don't see one right now, but
maybe utilize the cache or. I don't know.
Think about it and send me some proposal if you have some, just to talk about, to have something to talk and next week. Yes, just an idea in mind. If we want to change the admin theme one day using Bootstrap or whatever, it will be interesting to make a shim CSS which will apply the current CSS properties to the new one. Saying, for instance, you see the text medium that Silke did. It will be interesting that we have a CSS which will implement the text medium, but using the new theme paradigm. So the existing modules will still work and will be compatible with the new CSS. Just an idea in my mind. Also, the Owin stuff I was not able to show you. I hope I will show it to you next week, because we are already 15 minutes over. I will show you the Owin stuff I did in Orchard based on the 4.5 branch from Eric. It's really nice to be able to have Owin in Orchard. It opens lots of possibilities. So,
how will it affect my the SignalR module?
Oh, it should affect it. Yes. But maybe it will be easier for you then to register SignalR, because you can integrate Owin. You just have to implement iOwin provider, and boom, you will be able to change the pipeline of Owin. And there is a priority inside, and it's pertinent. So it's very nice.
Nice. Yeah, by the way, I was speaking about SignalR. So Nick, we should get in touch and build one module.
Yeah.
But maybe when the Owin stuff will be there. So
yep, on 4.5. So and SignalR is on 4. SignalR2 is only on 4.5. So you have to wait for. So maybe you want to work with the 4.5 branch. So it's just a local branch. I still need to do some work to push it on the 4.5 branch, and I want to show it to you too. So maybe you want to change some stuff and to give some feedback. And yep, and there is also the new ASP.NET identity providers that Microsoft has shipped already as a beta or preview.
Is that stuff that you spoke to me about quite a while ago?
Yes. And so, for instance, with this thing, the Google authentication is just one line of code. It's an Owin provider. Sorry?
The Google stuff?
Yes, and the Facebook and Auth2 and everything. I show you next week. Sorry, Nick. That's just incorporated into ASP.NET as is now. So yeah, that's less code to do. I show you. But no. Or you do a module with that, but at least we have Owin for that. This was the goal, actually, to make it work in Orchard, and for that we needed Owin. So let's make Owin work in Orchard, and it works. So I show it to you next week and everything which is related to that. Took me some time, and also it took some time from Louis, so must be good. That's it. 15 minutes over. Awesome meeting this week.
One further thing.
Cool.
Just an announcement of us.
Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned that in our steering committee election nomination, but we are starting the Orchard course on our university this fall's semester again, and this we will run it as an online course simultaneously. So we will upload videos, supported materials. We will even evaluate submissions. So we will start as a beginners online Orchard course.
Awesome.
Next week.
And it will be in English this time.
Take it.
English with a Hungarian accent, yeah.
It will be Hungarian with an English accent.
Sipke and I have seen a little bit of the presentation from the videos from Harvest. A teaser about there's some interviews in the end that has been run by what's his name, Sean, after the Harvest conference, and he's done a small teaser to show us how it looks like. This is awesome. It almost made me cry. It's like, oh, I saw Nick and everyone there. It was fun. I'm looking forward for it to be. No, it's some private thing we have because we are into the organization stuff, so you can't see that, Brett. But it was awesome. Yeah.
Send it to me. But
it was HD and music and editing video. That's awesome. It was really awesome. So I'm looking forward to it. You will see it in time. I don't know why it's taking so much time, but that's it. Quality, it can.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, like Orchard.
When are they getting released?
I don't know. Surprise. So, yes, that's what we said 2 months ago.
Send it to me. I want to see it.
Okay, I send you the link. I send the link to the people I like, not the other ones. Okay. So it's a 1 gigabyte file for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
That's good.
That's crazy, and you look so awesome in the video, Nick.
Thanks,
and
man.
so handsome. Okay, so let's close this meeting. What?
Yeah. Okay. No.
What?
I wanted to talk about those modules on the gallery.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody have an idea what we can do about these? Because removing them is not really cool for people still running on older versions of Orchard, but it's really creating problems.
Maybe we should recreate the gallery so that, depending on the current version of Orchard you've installed, it compares the...
Yeah, but that won't happen overnight. In the meantime, what do we do? Another solution would be to upload 1.7 versions for modules.
For what?
For those modules.
Oh, you mean, yes. It's very easy to do.
Bertrand, which modules are you talking about again?
So
designer tools and a few others.
So all the modules which were previously on the gallery and not as part of the web package, like search, indexing, yes, designer, code generation, those ones used to be on the gallery only. So you, Brett, personally, you use the source code version, so you have everything. But the people who download it from Codeplex on the web app gallery, they didn't have everything until 1.7, where we decided to ship everything, even with the web package. So people who are using the web package, are downloading some old versions, maybe.
Yeah, I think the best idea is to remove them.
Yeah.
Remove them or update them.
And,
but then if we update them,
when we have a new version of the gallery that takes versioning into account, then we can do something smarter than that. But in the meantime, I think that would be the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I would update them. I mean, it would follow the logical progression that we've stuck with since 1.0. So.
And it's easy to do. Just create the packages and push them. Okay. And I know who will do that. Nick will do that.
And then it would take Sebastian about a month to get around to it.
Okay, I do that. I add it on my dashboard. Okay. That's it. Anyone else wants to add something?
I forgot about one small thing about the email sending from Orchard. So it was swallowing all exceptions, so there was no way to get an error message from the UI when the email sending failed for some reason. So I changed it so that the exception is not swallowed. It's logged, but it's rethrown, and I think it's much cleaner. Because it was one of the things that was really pissing me off.
Okay. We'll look at that in the feature branch.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Good. Thank you. Next week. So we can vote now. So the vote is launched, or?
Did Lombic tell us?
Okay. So once they say
yes.
we start the vote. Okay. That's
yes.
Just wanted to know.
Yeah,
until next week.
Hey, Bertrand.
No, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Bertrand, is there any voting software, or do you just want people to email you privately? Or?
No. So what we did last time and what we are going to do again this time is that people who want to vote publicly will do so on a thread that I will open, and people who want to vote secretly will have to send an email to a neutral person, and we need a volunteer for that. Could be you.
Neutral.
You know, I'm not crazy about the public voting. I don't know. I mean, are you open to changing the tradition and making it pure private?
I don't mind. Yeah, public voting is usually a bad idea. But you know, it depends what the.
It depends in which country.
Yeah. And in a dictatorship, it's okay.
Well, I'm not talking. Obviously, I'm not talking about transparency in the voting process. I'm talking about individual.
Yeah,
I'm just saying making private not an option. I mean, making public not an option. Sorry.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's that important, but
it has an impact actually. Is right, because knowing what has been voted for the people, I can wait until the last moment and adapt my vote based on what has been the result, like I did with Piotr, you know.
It's not the only problem. It's not the only problem. If you look at voting from a theoretical point of view, there are reasons why the vote should not only be private, but you shouldn't even be able yourself to prove who you voted for.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's to my point exactly. I don't see the value in public voting. I see it as a problem.
It was because it was easier and it wasn't that important. I mean, what's going to happen. But yeah, in theory, I agree with you. It would be better if it was completely private. If people want it to be completely private, I have no problem with it.
And what's the issue now if I don't trust you? I don't trust the voting system. So how do I know that you counted my votes?
Well, I think that's
So,
yeah.
yeah.
There has to be an element of trust, otherwise governments get toppled.
Well, there are ways to make it trustworthy and etc., etc., but it's too late to do that, and it's too expensive, and it's too complicated. So I think we can. I mean, for example, if Brett volunteered to gather the secret votes, one thing that we did previously was that for the private votes, you would send an email with your vote, and the person managing it would give you a GUID or some kind of token, and then you would be able to verify your vote using the token.
We will publicize the votes, but with
only
with
the
hash.
person who
Okay.
receives the votes has the correspondence between the
Okay,
person and
I like it.
So
So
then-
and
then
there is
some of
still I can't hear any of
we
you.
don't care. Yeah, we agree. It's okay. I like it. So it's private, but there is we show the results.
Sound
based on
dropped.
Okay, good.
But only at the end of the elections, right?
Only at the end of the election we show publicly the results and the details, but not with the name of the person, with a cryptic name.
Yeah.
So you can find your vote and it's taken into account. You know that for sure, and nobody knows who voted for what. I like it because this is.
All right, I will volunteer to do this.
And can you generate UIDs?
Yes. No, I'll generate. All right. So the requirements are pure private, and every voter can validate his or her own vote.
Yes.
And all votes are published with anonymous names assigned to them.
Once the vote is closed.
Once the vote is closed, not during the election.
Yes. So we can't adapt our votes.
All right. I'll come up with something. So when does the voting begin? Tomorrow or?
Should be. Once
Okay.
Lombic has decided, and Bertrand will make the announcement. So you sync up with Bertrand about the announcement, and it's okay.
Yeah,
and he will give your address email.
No, I don't know if I'm going to do it on email. Let me look around and see if I can come up with something online. Bertrand, don't post anything about the voting procedure until we sync up. Sound good?
He lost sound, I believe.
Yeah.
Bertrand?
I'll write it.
He said okay. He said okay. He said okay. He wrote okay. He can hear us. We can hear him.
All right.
Okay, good. Thanks you all. Big one, but good one.
Okay.
Talk to you next week.
Yeah.
See you next week, guys.
You guys.
Bye bye.
See you next week. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers, bye guys.